Hello everyone, Louise and I are in Toulouse and heading to the Mediterranean coast via the Canal du Midi. As we go through the city, it's interesting to see the number of individuals who are actually living on the canal in these converted barges. Here we go as we get out of the city and head to the canal path in the countryside. So we've been riding along the Canal du Midi, which we will be doing for the next few days. In town was pretty hectic. No chance for videos. But this now is much calmer and much nicer. But in town it was mixed with traffic and the bike path going one side to the other and through traffic, and it's pretty interesting.
Hello. Hey.
So how was it?
It was very tricky at the beginning, but now we are out of the town, out of the traffic zone, so it's a beautiful day. So all is good. Day one.
Very good. Our first of many locks that we will be crossing on this path. The canal path is heavily used by cyclists, by walkers and hikers. As we stopped for lunch at a lock, we met a couple who had been hiking since Arles and were heading to Toulouse, so about a total distance of close to 300 kilometers or 200 miles. Pretty impressive.
So we've been meeting different cyclists. Some are loaded, some are light, and it's getting cloudier, so hopefully we won't get any rain. But we have about 25 miles left to do, and everything is going well so far. So we are going along sycamores, pretty much from Toulouse. You have them planted in a row, and it's so pretty, and it makes like a dome over you. Very nice.
Part of the canal path was closed, so we ended up having to take a detour, and Google Maps took us on a wild adventure through fields and brush, etc., where the bike was not necessarily set up for this, but that's part of the adventure. In the end, we found our way, made it to Castelnaudary, and stayed in an interesting hotel, which was owned by an ex-rugby player, so it was rugby themed everywhere. Food was great, new hotel, can't ask for anything more than that. Today is Saturday, and the canal is much busier, both on the boating side as well as on the number of cyclists and hikers. As we also saw a little lizard and got our first view of the snow-capped Pyrenees Mountains. There's nice little restaurants and cafes along the canal, and we also got to take another interesting detour on day 2. So we made it to our destination in Trèbes on the Rue Martin, this little B&B.
On this hot day.
Couldn't be more quaint than this. Good morning, everybody. It is Sunday, May 26th. So this is a very nice area from the balcony of our B&B. Very nice owner He was preparing breakfast right now. Sounds good. There's a little market over here. I don't know if you can see. It's not even 8 yet, so it's pretty active. Good morning, Sunday, May 26th from Trèbes. We are going to Narbonne today, which is a
58 kilometers.
So 58 kilometers. So again, along the Canal du Midi, which we can see here. In the towns, they usually have a little port area, which is a bit wider, and where they can accommodate all the boats, mainly tourist boats that stop for the night in different areas, and go to the restaurants, the bars, little shops, etc. So it's going to be a beautiful day.
It's going to be a hot one.
Yeah, it's going to be in the high 70s, so very nice. Busy Sunday morning here on the Canal du Midi with a 2-lock stopover. You can see there's a lot of people. So the Canal du Midi is actually the completion of the route that goes from the Atlantic to the Mediterranean, or the other way around. And it connects with the Canal de la Garonne. So Canal du Midi is 240 or 280 kilometers, depending on which literature you actually look at. There are 79 locks along the way, and quite interesting, was built in the 17th century. Took 15 years and was financed by the king for 40%, the regions for 40%, and the promoter of the project for 20%, who ended up dying before the completion and ended up broke, but he had the right to the tolls. So the canal was built for a few reasons. One is to shorten the transport of merchandise from the Atlantic to the Mediterranean, or the other way around, and to eliminate some of the income that Spain was getting as they charged the toll going through the Straits of Gibraltar, as well as the fact that there were pirates, etc., along that route. So that was the reason for building this, which had been planned for at least 100 years, but never found a way to actually supply the water to the canal on both sides. So the canal goes from zero, obviously, elevation at the sea levels to 620 feet at its highest point, and is fed by a system of it's actually a series of reservoirs, and that are they're in the Black Mountains, which are a ways away from the actual canal, but and is fed at the highest point with 2 streams, one that goes towards the Mediterranean, the other one that flows to the Atlantic, and that's how they keep they control the water levels. The project was very well managed, from what I could read. It was surprising that where they actually had an evaluation, a test phase to see if the concept would actually work before they allowed the expropriation of the lands and etc. And Ricard had an approach which he wanted to make the regions benefit, so he paid twice the going wage to the peasants that were working on the project. At the peak of the project, there were 12,000 people working. So again, 15 years in the making, and pretty expensive. But the kids made out very well, although the promoter ended up broke. The kids had the right to the toll that they charge for all the merchandise being transported.
How much did it end up costing? The original budget was
£6 million, and it ended up costing £18 million. How's the ride, Louise? On the canal?
On the canal, at the beginning it was like, wow, this is quite impressive, you know. As we were going along towards the east side, it got really bumpy. lots of potholes and one lane, gravel, soft sand. So it's a mixed bag. So you really have to be aware of what's going on.
Yeah, it's hard to be because it's easy. I would imagine it easy to fall into the canal because it's fairly narrow when you meet some other cyclists, etc. So you have to be paying attention for sure.
Yeah.
Here's an interesting art display at one of the locks. Somebody definitely had way too much time in his hand. Ah oui, c'est bon.
Ah, c'est marrant, hein?
It's a beautiful region with all the vine fields everywhere. A lot of agriculture provided by the canal, which is one of the source of water. Nice little towns with great food all along the canal path. Okay, we are at the intersection of the Canal du Midi and the Canal de la Robine, which is not a very nice name, which means like the Drunken's Canal, but this is where we turn to go towards Narbonne, and we get off of the Canal du Midi. For now, we will be on Eurovelo 8, so our first stretch is done. Good job, babe.
Woohoo!
This is the Palais des Évêques in Narbonne. It is absolutely huge. Can you see Louise by the door? It was started in the 5th century, never completed. Good morning, everybody. Monday, May 27th, Memorial Day in the US.
Good morning.
And we are in our private garage here in Narbonne and heading to the coast. Very short ride today. And we're going to be spending a few days at the beach. It's supposed to be nice. So looking forward to that. How are you feeling about it, Louise?
Easy ride? Oh my gosh, this is more than welcome. Well, doing the Canal du Midi really challenged my little butsy. So it will be a nice day to kind of recuperate.
And the first few miles of the Eurovelo 8 were absolutely horrendous. A good thing that the last 7 or 8 miles were very good, which compensated. But let's hope that this is not a sign of what the Eurovelo routes are like. Our destination is the town of Grusin, which is known for 3 things. One is the fort that we can see over there, around which the town was built to defend against the pirates. The second is the salt flats that were started for salt production by the Romans in 2nd century BC, still in production today using the same technique. They had mechanized the production of salt, given the increased demand for salting roads. But since that has now been eliminated due to environmental concerns, they've returned to a manual production for more of a value-added product for selling to the food market. We can see the salt flats as the pinkish area in the back here of the picture. The last thing the town is known for are the beaches and the consistent and strong winds, which explains the number of sailboats and other wind activities.
Look at that! I have no clue what's the speed. But it's very windy today. Look at it.
That's it for now. Hope you enjoyed.